All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Tom Takes podcast. This is episode 2, and I've got another very special guest alongside me here. This is Reese Baumgartner. How you doing, Reese?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Welcome to the pod. It's an honor to have you on.
I appreciate you having me.
Yep. And so, Reese is a football coach at Iowa Western, and he also coaches high school baseball at Bellevue West. How have you enjoyed that?
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. Being at Iowa Western for going on season 13 now.
Wow.
We've been in the last 4 national championships and been fortunate enough to win back-to-back, and then just fell short this past season. So hopefully we can get back on top come this December.
Yes, sir. Yep. Well, in this pod, we're going to be discussing all things Charles Schwab Field, from the Big Ten tournament to the College World Series. And so, you, a big Hawkeye fan, you've got the Hawkeye sweatshirt.
Made sure to represent today.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. And so, you have avid experience at the Big Ten tournament. Talk about that.
Yeah, so what was it? I think it was 2016, I think, one of the 2 years when they brought the Big Ten tournament to Omaha. I was pretty excited for it because they'd been playing at, they played up in Minnesota at Target Field, and everybody said that field's way too big. Then they played it at Indiana, and when Iowa won the Big Ten championship, I think they hit like 20-some home runs. So it's like, okay, maybe that field was too small. Then they brought it to Omaha, and it's a pretty central location, I think, just being in the Big Ten. Now you could say that, 6-7 years ago. Now it's not as centralized with the new Big Ten and everything like that, but I love that the Big Ten tournament's here. Obviously it helps when Nebraska's in it, as much as I'm not a Nebraska fan, but when Nebraska's there, it's a sea of red there. So I've enjoyed going down there. I go every year as long as I can make it happen, as long as my Hawks are in there. If they aren't in it, then I'm not going down. I've got no reason to.
Yeah, are they looking good this year?
Yeah, they're first place in the Big Ten right now. They had a slip up last night against Western Illinois, but they're first place in the Big Ten, and it's really funny because it's all the Pac-12 schools that goes Iowa, then the Pac-12 schools, and then the rest of the Big Ten. So I think we got 3 weeks left before the Big Ten tournament, and that starts on May 20th.
Yes, we are right in the thick of college baseball season, and which means the Big Ten tournament and then the College World Series. They'll be here before we know it.
Yes, they will.
Yep, but speaking of the College World Series, of course, we're both old enough to remember the legendary Rosenblatt Stadium. Talk about your memories there.
Yeah, so my first ever College World Series game was in 2004. It's when Texas was Texas baseball. Like, that was kind of the
Augie
pinnacle.
Garrido.
Yeah, like the pinnacle of college baseball. It's like, okay, I want to be like Texas. USC had their run. Now it's Texas. And that's when it was always Texas and Rice and North Carolina. You knew those 3 were probably almost guarantees to be in Omaha. Now it was finding who are the other 5 teams that are coming in.
Yeah,
so
I remember Miami was very good in those days too.
Yes, Miami was too. They had that game that had that rain delay and didn't get over till like 2 or 3 in the morning. I went to the Texas-Arkansas game. My uncle got me tickets. I had no idea where we were sitting, but I don't know how old I was in 2004, but whatever it was, I was excited. It's like, okay, sweet, I get to go watch college baseball, and I didn't really know how good Texas was at that time because, that's before social media. So get our seats, get into the field, and we start walking to our seats. I'm like, where are we going? Well, sure enough, we're sitting front row seats right behind the Texas dugout.
Wow.
So that was pretty sweet. Texas won 13-2 over Arkansas. So that was really cool. So I started following Texas baseball once that happened.
Yeah, my first College World Series game was also in 2004. I remember going with a family friend of mine, and we watched Texas play Georgia.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Georgia was a pretty regular in the College World Series in the 2000s. And, I think Texas won that game, I want to say 6-5 or something like that. I remember Texas winning. And that year they made it all the way to the national title series. They would lose to Kurt Suzuki and the Cal State Fullerton Titans that year.
Yes, and that's actually, I can't believe I forgot about them. Like Cal State Fullerton, they had on the street, they had a house called the Fullerton House because that's how many times they would come to Omaha, which was really cool. I still have a great memory of that. I remember I was with a buddy and we went, Cal State Fullerton had just got eliminated, so the players were going over to the Fullerton House with, Boosters family and all that. And I don't know who the guy was, but my buddy was like, this dude is going to be a first-round draft pick. We got to get his autograph.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this security guard's like, you guys got to get out of the street. And obviously the security guard doesn't have much feel since Cal State Fullerton just got eliminated. And this guy's nice enough, to sign an autograph. Like, hey, I just ended my college career. And I'll never forget, he went off on the security guard. He's like, they can wait. Like, I'm going to do this for fans here right now. So I was like, that's pretty cool that it's like, hey, we just got eliminated. But at the same time, I still know, like, what I need to do for people and everything like that.
Yep. Yeah. The Blatt days, those were some really special days. I remember 13th Street being completely shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the road that, of course, leads to the stadium and to the zoo. Yeah, it was just a party scene.
It was. And I mean, and you talked about 13th Street too, whether they were in it or not. In my opinion, the greatest college baseball fans in America is LSU. Like,
oh, yeah.
Whether they were in it or not, those fans still came down.
Yeah.
And if you walked by their tailgate, they'd be like, come on over, like, grab some food, have a drink, do whatever. Like, they wanted you to be a part of that experience.
Yeah, and they brought the food, like Cajun stuff, like fried gators or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
beignets,
things that us Midwesterners are not accustomed to.
No, not at all. Yeah, but yeah, that's Rosenblatt. And one thing I remember also about Rosenblatt is it was a very home run friendly ballpark.
Yes, it was. And if you remember too, it was I'm not saying it was just because of the bats, but the NCAA didn't have the BB core rule. So the bats didn't have that part of it. And then I know what we're going to talk about, the new stadium, but that rule got passed as they started building that stadium. So that was never like talked about, like, hey, maybe we shouldn't make these fences so long. That's what I loved about Rosenblatt, though, because a team could be down in the 9th inning by 1 or 2 runs and one swing could change it. And now it's like, here we go.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And then now we'll move on to TD Ameritrade Park, now known as Charles Schwab Field. We're going to get into the nitty gritty on how we think of this place and how it's held up for the College World Series. And so let's talk about location. How would you rate the location of the Chuck?
Comparing it to Rosenblatt?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
We'll compare it to Rosenblatt just because that's the 2 locations that Omaha has had.
Yes.
I mean, if you comparing them, as much as I hate saying it, I'd probably give it a 10 out of 10 just because you're in downtown Omaha with, like you talked about in your vlog there, is like it's downtown. There's so much to do.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is in walking distance. You think about all the hotels that are downtown. Like if you're willing to walk a mile, like you can get anywhere. And there's a bunch of restaurants, things to do. Like, so yeah, in that case, I would give it a 10 out of 10. Comparing it to like where Rosenblatt was located, definitely not as much to do, but I think that also goes to where when people went down to the College World Series when it was at Rosenblatt, you went for baseball.
Yep.
You didn't go for anything else. You
Nope.
went to go watch the 8 best teams in the country compete for a national championship, which I think moving it to downtown Omaha now, that's changed a little bit since 2011, but I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would give the location, 10 out of 10 because, look, and I think you make a very good point that, you go to the Blatt just for baseball and nothing else.
Correct.
But like it or not, ballpark villages are the future. You can't just go to a baseball game anymore. You got to stay around the place. You got to go to bars, restaurants.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and shops, apartment buildings, all that jazz.
And if you think about it too, like, before, I mean, with Rosenblatt during the College World Series, when it was where it was, think about the national championships in other sports. They were still in centralized locations, whether it was college football being, the Rose Bowl, really good location to do a lot of things. The Sugar Bowl, because obviously then with the BCS, it rotated every few years and all of that, or every year, but then it just depended on what year it was for that when it was in Miami. The national championship in college basketball, which I know you and I are both huge fans. I mean, you know way more about it than I do, but also big time location. So I think the NCAA and college baseball is like, we probably need to do something like that too, to continue to draw people to Omaha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the location of the Chuck. I would say that's an advantage that it has over the Blatt. I would give that a 10 out of 10. Yeah, because, yeah, like we mentioned, like it's got a lot nearby. The Blatt did not have a lot of stuff nearby.
And another thing, too, is when it was at the Rosenblatt, if you wanted to go to the zoo, good luck during the College World Series. Now, with it being, at Chuck, well, hey, now you can go to the zoo because, families obviously want to come to watch college baseball, but when the College World Series isn't going on in the middle, not the first 2 weeks, the middle of June, guess what? The Omaha's number one attraction is? It's our zoo.
The zoo.
Like I'm not a big zoo person. It's probably because I live in Omaha, so I don't see that type of draw. But anybody I know that comes to visit, they're like, "Yeah, we got to go to the zoo." I'm like, "Yeah, it is the number one zoo in the country." So yeah, I would go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when we talk about location, we also talk about outside atmosphere, and of course, the College World Series every single year in downtown, it's always hopping. It's especially Rocco's, which is where they have the Jello shot competition. Lefties, which is right next door.
Yeah,
it's very, very crowded. I mean, all of downtown, even up to the old market, like there's people everywhere. It's a bumping atmosphere, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think the fun thing to do is too, you go to the old market once you've got your national championship team set, and one of the teams is going to take over the old market. I remember when Mississippi State played Vandy a few years ago and won it. I went down to the old market. I'm like, I don't even feel like we're in Omaha anymore. Like it looked
You're
like
in Starkville.
Yeah, it looked like the whole city of Starkville decided to come to Omaha, and it sure seemed like it. Looking at the stadium, I mean, it looked like it was probably 95-5, and nothing against Vandy. It's obviously not as big of a school and all that, but still, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I went to that national championship series, I think in game 1, and yeah, it just the whole place was maroon.
Yeah, I mean, it was a home field advantage, and they took advantage, no pun intended, but they did.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. 10 out of 10 on the outside atmosphere. I mean, SEC fans, especially if they make the championship game. Yeah. They know how to party. They know how to bring a crowd.
Well, and I mean, you think about it too, and the argument in college football always is, is the SEC the best conference in football? My opinion with baseball, there's no question about it. The SEC runs college baseball.
Yes.
And now with Texas and Oklahoma being in there and them both being in the top 15, I think Texas is number 1 or 2 right now. Oklahoma's, I think, 9 or 12 or something like that. Like they're holding their own in the SEC, and that was a big question I know for baseball fans is, are those two going to be able to actually compete in the SEC? And year 1, I think they can check that one off their list.
Yeah. No doubt about it. Yep. And how would you rate the parking and accessibility?
So I think the parking is definitely better.
I would say so too.
There's so many lots that you can go to, and then also like we talked about, it's you can walk a little bit. Where down at Rosenblatt, once those spots were filled up, I mean,
you're screwed.
Yeah, I mean, Uber wasn't a thing.
No,
so it was like, hey, like either I'm walking or I'm having someone drop me off, and hoping that they're okay sitting in traffic because. I mean, let's be honest. It was hell getting out of Rosenblatt.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you were in traffic for a good 30 to 45 minutes if you didn't leave the game early or if you didn't stay after. So, yeah, I think the parking is really good. And to go back on your point about everything outside of the stadium, think about how many vendors are out there, too, with all the apparel.
The village.
I mean, it's awesome to have all of that stuff there because – and it's not just – the 8 teams that are in the College World Series. It's a bunch of college teams, and then they're selling bats, gloves, sunglasses. Like, it's a baseball fan's dream.
It's baseball paradise.
That's a great way to put it.
Yep. Moving on to the design of the place, how would you rate the Chuck's exterior? Does it look like a ballpark to you?
Yes. I mean, you see the big glass windows, and I mean, I think it's just one of those things like us in Omaha, we're so used to it, so like we know it. I think depending on the what time of the day you come into Omaha, like if you fly into Omaha in the middle of the day and you drive past the stadium, you don't think it's that cool.
No.
Now you come in at nighttime and you see the thing lit up, you're like, what is that? Like,
yeah.
And obviously, most baseball fans know what it is, but then some people are like, tell me about it. So I think the exterior is definitely good. What do you think?
I think it's a decent exterior. I would give it, I would say, a 6.5 out of 10. Yeah, it looks like a ballpark. It's not as grand as I would expect. I think the Blatt was like a little more grander. Like it just looked like, I want to say like a cathedral of baseball. I would not call it that. Like I would call the Blatt, but it's still a good exterior. It's you mentioned the glass building and how it lights up at night. I think that's a pretty neat feature of it. What about the interior? Like when you walk in and like, what do you like? Is it eye pleasing to you? Like as soon as you walk in and see the field for the first time?
Yeah, the thing I love about it is that you don't have to go up a tunnel, because at Rosenblatt you did. I think I'm still a big fan of those because, like if you go to a college football stadium for the first time, some people, like I've always been one of these people that enjoys walking up the tunnel and then finally seeing the field. Rosenblatt was like that. Now, with the amount of people that, can drink at the College World Series now, because remember, you couldn't do that before.
No.
Now you can. So if you go up to the grandstands and you want to go get a beer or something like that, you don't miss anything.
No.
Because you can still see the field. And when it's hot as can be in Omaha, you can go sit under the shade there, or you stand in the shade. So I like that part of it because you're not going to miss anything in terms of that. Where at Rosenblatt, they had those little TVs up there, but they're delayed still. So you hear the crowd and you're like, what just happened?
Yeah.
So I like that feature of it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a really good feature. And I think, and this ties into what we'll talk about next, the concourse. I really like how the concourse, you can see, you don't have to miss any part of the action. Yeah, you can easily see the field from just about anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think there's a blind spot outside of when you go up the elevator to go to the suites. Outside of that, you're not missing anything.
No, not at all. Not at all. And of course, you mentioned all the TVs in the concourse. Yeah, they keep you engaged. Is there a delay? I'm not sure if there is.
I think,
or is it a slight one?
Yeah, because TV is always like a second or two behind. Like if you have, like in today's world, we all stream everything. So I try to stay off Twitter during games because sometimes you see the tweet and then the very next play is that tweet and whatnot.
Yeah.
And another thing I also like, and I think it's a very underappreciated things, is the fact that when the game is going on, if you go up to the concourse, you have to wait until that half inning is over to go back down to your seat. I really appreciate that because then you aren't standing up or trying to look around people. Obviously at Rosenblatt, they didn't do that, but at Rosenblatt, people weren't moving around. Once the game started, you stayed in your seat.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of hockey games, like where they keep you in the concourse. They did that to keep you safe from like a potential flying pucks.
Yeah.
And of course, they do that at baseball games, like at the College World Series, to keep you safe from potential flying foul balls and whatnot.
It's easier to catch a foul ball than a puck, I think.
And also you mentioned it. You don't have to like look around people,
right.
And it's people walking up and down the aisle like as play is going on.
Yeah,
that can be a distraction.
It can be. I mean, I'm going to call a spade a spade. It's annoying.
Okay,
like have some feel, people. Just wait till the inning's over, please.
Yeah, or at least wait till the at bat's over.
Yeah.
Like wait till the batter's done, and then as they're transitioning to the next batter. Yeah, just then you can walk up. Until then, stay where you are.
Yeah, like you have 10 to 15 seconds between at bats with their walk up songs and everything, and they might chat about what the pitcher's throwing and everything like that. Like it's not hard, but some people just don't have patience.
No, not at all. And let's go on to food. How would you rate the food at the Chuck?
During the College World Series, to be honest with you, I don't really eat. I just go there to watch baseball and have some quote unquote waters. But not during the Big Ten tournament because, there's times where I'll probably watch 2 to 3 games in a row. So that's when I'll get them. I think their chicken fingers are really good and their French fries are really good. That's probably the only 2 things I've actually had there. I've never had a hot dog there. In the 14 years, 15 years that it's been open, I've never had a hot dog there.
In the vlog episode, I tried a sauerkraut brat. I had no idea how good sauerkraut was.
I'm not a fan of sauerkraut.
But yeah, I had sauerkraut, and it melted in my mouth so well. It was stupendous.
Now, have you tried to recreate that at your own house?
I have not.
You need to do that, and then you
Okay.
need to let us know what if it matches those standards or not.
Yep. Yeah, I would give the sauerkraut brat. I would say it's not the greatest thing I've ever had, but I would say it's very good. I would say an 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Of course, you would rate it very differently.
Yeah, well, that's just the brat though. Like I think their food is good. And as anybody knows that's going to listen to this, is things are going to be pricey no matter where you go. That's just our world that we live in with college athletics. They got to make their money too. And
Yes.
obviously it's a good time for Omaha to make money.
Yeah. Yeah. And the overall food scene at the CWS, I mean, I would probably give it like a 5 out of 10. I mean, it's not bad. The quality isn't bad. It's just that I wish they had like a little more variety to it, like more than just your basic fingers, hot dogs, fries, your standard soft drinks and beer. I mean, I don't see like a ton of unique items.
Yeah, and I think part of that too, though, is, and I totally get what you're saying. I think part of it is too, though. Now we're in downtown Omaha, right? So look how many restaurants are around. I feel like at times you never want to assume, but I think they're kind of assuming like these people are probably, because the games are at 1 o'clock and 6 o'clock now. So they're probably going to grab lunch or dinner prior to the game. And now the alcohol sales where they're hoping they can make their money. And I would say every year they've done that just fine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Moving on to honoring College World Series history. I think, I'm not sure what you think. We'll get into that. But I think the ballpark honors it very, very well. I would give it a 10 out of 10 because you see the plaques outside the ballpark, like on the walls honoring all the national championships that have won it by the decade. You see they have a similar thing in the concourse, but it's a little more like image, kind of like they show a picture of like a certain player from that decade. And they list off the champions again. And you can tell that this place was specifically designed for the College World Series. I mean, of course, Creighton plays there and the Big Ten tournament's there too, but we know what the primary event here is.
Well, and that's the thing. Like when you hear, if you don't include people in Omaha and you go wherever and talk to a baseball fan and you say, what's the first thing that comes to your mind with Omaha? I'm guessing majority are going to say either the zoo or the College World Series.
Yes.
Like and obviously the slogan is the road to Omaha.
Yeah.
Like there's no other road that any college baseball player wants to be on outside of that road to Omaha.
Yeah.
So I agree though. I mean, I think they do a great job of showing the history and then also between innings when they do the, not surveys, with the fans of the interaction, they're like, hey, guess what this happened? You learn a little something there. And then also I think the biggest thing, because I definitely was wondering this, was the statue that you talked about. Were they going to bring that over there? And obviously they did that. Because if they didn't do that, I think that would have been a bad look on Omaha.
Yeah, because the Road to Omaha statue, that thing is iconic.
Yes.
Yeah, that is the 1991 Creighton baseball team, the one and only time Creighton has ever made the College World Series. And that the guy on top of the statue, the guy doing this, holding up the one, that's Brian O'Connor.
Okay.
And Brian O'Connor, if you know who that is.
Nope.
He's the head coach at University of Virginia.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because he was a St. Albert alum, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. I didn't know he went to Creighton.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and of course Virginia's a big regular in the CWS.
Yes, I would say because I can't remember the last time they were here. It wasn't too long ago. Maybe the last couple of years, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of, since we're on the topic of champions, what's your favorite one to have won it in the last, let's call it 15 years, from 10 to last year's?
Ooh, that is a very tough call.
We can go top three. We'll do top three.
Okay, top three. I would say Yeah, I would say number 3. I'd say Virginia 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, they were, of course, not just Brian O'Connor, but they've got a good fan base, and I've enjoyed interacting with some of their fans whenever they come here. They're very good people, very classy fan base, and they dress well too. Like I see most of them like wearing like fancy collared shirts, and
they wear what we all wore in high school with the Sperry's and the high socks
Yes.
and those shorts.
Yep. Other College World Series teams that I've really liked that have won it all, I would say the Ole Miss 2022.
One of the most impressive stories in college baseball history.
Without a doubt.
Like, hey, we're going to fire you. Oh, you got in as the last team in? Okay, see what happens.
Yeah. Yep. And with similar to Mississippi State, as we mentioned the year before, Ole Miss, when they made the title series, they brought a party. They brought all of Oxford with them.
And they had the beer showers in the outfield for home runs.
Goodness.
They did everything they could to have a home field advantage.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So, the state of Mississippi, they won the College World Series in back-to-back years, and they love their baseball in the Magnolia State. And I would say my number one, I would give that to 2014 Vanderbilt. Because, I believe that was their first ever title, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because, I mean, if you think about it, like, before Charles Schwab was open, like, we didn't really know who Vanderbilt was. They were more basketball at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, so, Vanderbilt, I mean, they are a founding member of the SEC, but they're very unique in the SEC because they're the only private school.
Right. Yeah.
And they don't have, like, near the branding, the resources that their peers do, but they make it, and they've made it pretty often in recent years. They had a very marketable star in Dansby Swanson, and they were really fun to watch.
Well, and don't forget about their arms that they had. Like, they had 3 first-round draft picks on the mound.
Oh yeah,
like that's not fair to anybody.
No.
Like, Tim Corbin knows what he's doing. In my opinion, he's a top 5 college baseball coach.
Absolutely. And they had pretty good fans too. They didn't bring like an entire army like Mississippi State or Ole Miss did, but the ones that I interacted with, they were pretty good people too.
Yeah. So I think the most impressive titles that have been won in the College World Series: 2010, South Carolina.
Yeah, South Carolina.
2011.
South Carolina again. The last one ever at the Blatt. First one ever at TD Ameritrade, now the Chuck.
I think that is one of the coolest things to say. We were the final ones to win at Rosenblatt, and we were the first ones to ever win at the new ballpark. And obviously that was with Jackie Bradley, who everybody loved.
Yeah, another very marketable star.
Yes, I think you can't even try to argue like that. I think that's just one of the coolest things, because like the odds of that happening so slim, and luckily for us that the transfer portal wasn't a thing back then, or else that probably doesn't happen for him. And then another one of my favorite ones is Tennessee winning it.
Last year.
Yeah, I think Tony V is an unreal coach, and I mean, he's definitely taking the SEC. I don't want to say over, but you think about when he got to Tennessee wasn't any good. No. And now they're a absolute powerhouse. And they can hit bombs left and right.
Yep.
So big fan of them. And then I think we can't forget the old Cinderella story of Coastal Carolina winning it.
Yeah, Coastal Carolina winning it in 2016. Yeah, they were really, really good. They remind me a lot of Fresno State 2008.
I was just about to say, yep, Fresno State. Like, then that's the fun part about baseball. Like college basketball has that Cinderella. College football, maybe we'll see it now. Probably not, but you never know. And now baseball has it. I mean, on paper, did Coastal and Fresno probably have any reason to win it or any business winning it? Probably not. But that's why you play the game.
Yeah.
And they did their job. And the only thing that I hated about the Coastal Carolina National Championship game was the fact that it was in the middle of the afternoon because of the rain that happened the night before.
Yep.
Because not as many people got to go there and experience it. So it wasn't I was actually at that game. It was not a good atmosphere just because it's in the middle of the afternoon, and that's not how a national championship should be played. No. And it kind of, I feel like that should have angered fans, and especially them. I mean, you're not going to be angry, you want it, but national championships are meant to be played at night if it's in the middle of the week. If it's,
Yes.
if it's on a Saturday or Sunday, fine.
Yeah.
But if it's in the middle of the week, you play it at night.
Yep. Yeah, very well said. And you talked about the Cinderella story. We see that fairly often in college basketball, but I mean, if they make the run, they go to the Sweet 16. That's somebody even making all the way to the Final Four.
Yeah.
But they don't win at all.
No.
Yeah, the last non-power conference national champion college basketball has ever had was UNLV in 1991.
A couple years ago.
Yeah, but Coastal, Fresno State, college baseball. Well, it's been pretty dominated by the College World Series. At least it's been dominated by the Power Four, Power Five, if you look at basketball, but Power Four schools in baseball. But they can at least say they've had championships in recent years. Like Coastal won it, Fresno State won it.
Correct. And I mean, and you think about for just looking at this year's upcoming College World Series, we might have an SEC tournament in Omaha this year.
Yeah. Last year it was SEC versus ACC.
Yeah, now it might. I mean, there's a chance, depending on obviously how the bracket plays out with regionals and supers. But I mean, if I'm college baseball, as much as I hate saying it, if I'm the NCAA, I'm going to make sure I can figure out how I can get as many SEC teams to Omaha because they're going to draw everybody. With that, I think talking about the ACC, I hope Clemson makes it because they got absolutely screwed last year against Florida. But Florida also had the best player in college baseball who was a lot of fun to watch last season. And then, I mean, talking about that too is some of the players that you get to witness play and then you don't even realize, like, this dude's a dude now in the MLB. Like, I think the most recent one we can probably all agree on is Paul Skeens.
Oh, yeah.
I remember going to game 2 of the College World Series. So they were playing on day 1 and they were the night game against Tennessee in 2021, I think it was.
2023, I think.
Was it 23? Oh, yeah. I guess it would have been, yeah. Yeah, so got tickets. I was like 20 rows up from home plate. Got them for free. I was like, this is sweet. And I won't forget, like, we're in the 7th inning. Paul Skeens throws it. I was just like, whoa. And my fiance goes, what? I said, he just threw 101. She goes, is that good? I said, in the 7th inning? Yeah, that's impressive. Like, that's the number 1 overall draft pick. And obviously now he's succeeding in Pittsburgh like no other. So it's fun to see that too. Is just some of the players that you're just like, yeah, you belong.
Yep. A couple more notes on Paul Skeens. Yeah, I can remember seeing him pitch. I think I was at that game against LSU in Tennessee in the 2023 College World Series. And I remember, like, there was a whole army of boys, like, waiting around in the concourse because you know who they were looking for?
Yeah. Let me guess. His girlfriend?
Yeah. Livy Dunn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't care about Paul. They cared about her.
Yeah.
It might be the only number 1 overall draft pick that nobody cares about.
But Paul Skeens is now with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and it was not long ago, like actually maybe even a few days or even a week ago, that the Pirates held a Paul Skeens bobblehead night.
Yes. And
Pirates fans, they lined up well around the block. Like, it might have gone like almost a mile for them to get that Paul Skeens bobblehead.
My question is, when's he going to get out of Pittsburgh? Nothing against Pittsburgh, but he doesn't belong in Pittsburgh.
You think the Yankees are going to scoop him up, or the Dodgers?
It wouldn't surprise me. I hope not, but if they do, let's not even play a baseball season.
Because, the Yankees and the Dodgers are stealing everyone's stars.
If the Dodgers get him and they don't win a World Series, you got a lot of problems. Like, there's no reason. I mean, obviously we're playing hypotheticals here, but I mean, that would be insane. I mean, while we're at it too, if they want to take Paul Skeens, then let Jake and Waldron go over to the Dodgers too. Let them get a World Series too.
Absolutely. Moving on back to the Chuck. Talk about the scoreboard. How do you like the scoreboard out in right field?
Every year I go, I still always want to look to the left because that's where it was at Rosenblatt. So I'm always like, gosh, dang it, that's right, it's over there now.
Mm-hmm.
But I like it because I think the cool thing too is, and I didn't even realize this during the College World Series. I was at one of the Iowa games in the Big Ten tournament. One of the fans said, "You know what I love about that scoreboard is it just shows you every stat as up to date as possible."
Yeah.
So you get a hit, now your average is going up. Obviously, if you don't, your average is going down. All of those stats are being calculated every pitch. I think that's really cool, and that's some hard work right there.
That is.
But I think the scoreboard, 10 out of 10. I mean, no complaints on it. It's a good video board and everything. You can see it clearly. The lights aren't too dim or anything like that.
No. Yeah, I would say 8 out of 10. I just wish it were a little bigger.
Really?
Yeah, because you can see it and everything, but the thing these days, and they're definitely doing this at major league ballparks, is that they're trying to expand their scoreboards. Everybody's trying to one up each other on scoreboard size.
Maybe we should just do what Jerry World's done and get a scoreboard that's 80 yards long.
Yeah, and actually, I don't know if you knew this already, but a scoreboard replacement is going to happen.
Really?
At the Chuck. Yeah, this will be the last season of the current scoreboard at the Chuck. It's been there from the very beginning in 2011. Yeah, and they're going to take it out and probably get something bigger this summer. I think they're going to implement it in July.
So what high school in Omaha is going to take that scoreboard? Because you remember who took the one from Rosenblatt, right?
Burke.
Yeah, so I can think of a couple places that should take it.
Yeah. There you go. But yeah, you did mention like it shows like all the stats galore and like everything is up to date. I think they're going to get that with the new board as well. And I think it might be a clearer image because I think this scoreboard, it's done its job.
Yeah, it's 14 years old.
Yeah, it's 14 years old, but that's a pretty basic lifespan for a scoreboard. So I can see why they're trying to replace it now. And yes, now it's moving on to bigger and better things. And I hope this new board that they're going to get, it's very similar to, it doesn't need to be as big, obviously, but I hope it's as good as the K at Kauffman.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, because it's big. Everybody can clearly see it. It's got up-to-date stats, everything. You got you can see the entire lineup. You can see like all the changes that they've made. You can see like who's where in the infield and the outfield. It's got everything.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if we have that next year for the 2026 College World Series?
Yep, and moving on to cost. How would you rate the cost at the CWS games or the Big Ten tournament games, whatever you want to choose?
I'll do both. I have no problem paying what I do for the Big Ten tournament. Now they've gone up. I mean, every year it's going to go up because that's the world.
Yep.
But I remember when I first went to the Big Ten tournament in Omaha, I think it was $7 to $10, and I mean, you didn't really have to choose a seat because if it's not Nebraska playing, it's pretty open. So you can watch college baseball all day. I get it's Big Ten baseball, but it's still college baseball.
Yeah.
College World Series, on the other hand, it makes me very nervous to see where we're headed with that, just due to the cost of tickets. They took away GA now, and that's at Rosenblatt. That was like an iconic thing. It's you stand on that grass for 3-4 hours, and you get in, and now you play student section, and you run down to your seat. Where now it's almost like, I don't want to say the College World Series is turning into the Super Bowl because it's not, because the prices are nowhere near that.
No.
But the key thing is it's headed down that same pathway. It's never going to get to those types of prices. But like last year for the Tennessee A&M series, I get that's two great college baseball teams. But nobody wants to pay $400 a ticket to watch somebody they're probably not a fan of. I think it's almost taking it away from people in Omaha because, like obviously it's not just for Omaha people, but the prices just I don't like that they're so high. And you see it in the afternoon games. I get people are working and all that, but at Rosenblatt, I don't remember seeing empty seats. I mean, the Chuck now in the afternoon games, there's not as many people there. prices, and I obviously the heat's a thing too, but the ticket prices they aren't helping the cause. Let's just say that.
No. Yeah, I'd give the cost. I mean, I've never been to the Big Ten tournament, so I can't.
That's fine. Yeah, no, you don't need. I mean, yeah, no, I totally understand that.
Yeah, you don't need to. I don't need to go on and on about the cost about that because I've never been. But I would give the cost of a College World Series. Yeah, it's gotten pretty expensive these days, especially since they moved it to the Chuck.
And that's not even to sit in the suite either. That's just your normal everyday seat. Now, if you're paying that to sit up in the suite, 1,000% get that. Like, hey, I'm going to pay for what I'm getting. But if I'm just sitting in a normal spot.
Yeah, I sat just outside the suites, like in a normal like outdoor seat. I want to say, like 2 years ago in 2023, I watched LSU play Wake Forest. And I remember that cost me about, I want to say, $60 to sit up there.
Yeah. Which, you know what? I don't mind paying $60, but it's just like the first week doesn't or the first weekend, opening weekend of the College World Series, it doesn't seem like it's that much. No. But then as it continues to go, then the prices continue to go up where it's like you've got people leaving. I get more fans are coming in for these other teams, but just keep it the same. Like people are going to show up.
Yes. Yeah, this is a national championship event. Everything's on the line here. So, yeah, people are always going to show up.
And the thing is, too, think about all the people that are traveling in. Hotels are expensive during the College World Series. Like it's $600 to $700 a night for hotels because it's Omaha's best time of the year.
Yes.
So that's expensive. Restaurants, expensive. Like if you're coming to Omaha, I mean, obviously sometimes teams that make it, it's a once in a life opportunity to go hopefully watch your team win a national championship. So I get like the sports fan spending the money because I'll say it. I mean, if I was ever lucky enough to play in a national championship in basketball or football, I'll drop the money for it. But at the same time, it's like those are once in a lifetime type deals. Yeah. Like Tennessee, Texas, like the teams that we were just talking about, like that are here every year. That's an expensive month of June.
It is. It absolutely is. Yep. And then, well, we talk a lot about fan support and atmosphere. I would give that a 10 out of 10, especially if, I mean, as much as we don't like them, but the SEC, they bring their fan base, don't they?
No question about it. I mean, that's one thing that has not changed is the teams and what they're bringing with their fans. Like, it's the same. And I think it's always fun, too. Like, we talk about LSU being the best fans of college baseball, is talking to them and seeing, like, what's their thoughts on, Charles Schwab compared to
the Blatt.
Rosenblatt, you know? So, and I think they like it. And think about it now too. I mean, all the tailgating that you can do, like it's a better fan experience for that.
Yeah. The tailgating atmosphere, it was pretty good at the Blatt. It's also very good at the Chuck. I mean, I think at the Chuck you have a lot more room. For not just tailgating, but a bigger Omaha baseball village. That's where they got all the shops and everything. And like a little batting cage that I saw. And then not to mention there's the Capital One Fan Fest.
Yes.
That's a big spot for kids. Like they can try a pitching challenge or even like non-baseball events. Like I've seen Pop a Shot. I've seen like a lacrosse game. I've seen a soccer game.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing everything they can to draw more and more people to baseball just because not everybody's a fan of baseball.
No.
Like they think it's slow and it's boring and it's like, why would I want to do this? But then you get down there and you're a part of the atmosphere. Like, yeah, this is actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a really good time. And going back to you mentioned the fans, like especially the general admission areas, like the bleachers out in the outfield. There's nothing like there's two things. The right field, left field sucks chants.
Yep.
There's that, and then there's the beach balls.
Yeah, that made me laugh in your video. Is how do they get those things in there when it's a clear bag policy?
Yes.
Hey, people. Hey, there's a will. There's a way to do it. I guess.
Yeah. What do they do? Do they find a way to stuff them in their pockets or?
Honestly, that's probably what they do. Because I mean, you think about it. I mean, when you go buy it, it's wrapped up so tight. So I mean, it's like putting a piece of paper in your back pocket, and it ain't gonna raise anything on a metal detector. So, but it's always great when if it's in between an inning or they're warming up and it gets put on the field and you see one of the outfielders go run to the ball and throw it back up there, because then it's like, okay, they get it. They want the fun to happen. And then when you see the security guard grab it, then all the boos come down and everyone's like, yep, you're now the most hated person in Omaha. You took our beach balls away.
Yep. And then when it comes to the left field, right field sucks chance, I think left field always starts it. Yeah, they always are the first to say right field sucks. And right field doesn't have a lot of energy. They don't say left field sucks right back, or what they do. They try to, at least. It doesn't have near the umph that the left field has.
The best part is, too, then you just got center field just kind of sitting there like, dude, we suck, or we just that good?
I can remember back in the 2008 CWS at the Blatt. Yeah, they did that exact same thing. Right field, left field sucks chance. There was a lot of juice to both sides.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember, when I sat in the outfield, I mean, it got loud. And sometimes I'm like, does anybody even care about what's going on the field? Or are we just going to have this argument going back and forth the whole time?
Yep. And then I saw people in the seats, not the bleachers, but the seats. Bleachers suck.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah, it's like, let me just start something. I think maybe this year, maybe we'll get a center field sucks.
Okay.
Just like, let's draw center field into this. Yeah. I mean, if we got the bleachers, or we got the green, we got everything, like, let's let center field have their flowers too. Let them be a part of the fun.
Yeah, but then I think the people in the seats chanted to the people in the bleachers, "We have armrests. We have armrests." And then the people in the bleachers chanted back, "We pay $10. We pay $10."
And now the sad thing is, we don't get to hear that anymore.
No.
Like, way to go, Omaha. -5 for you on that one.
It's still a great atmosphere and a great time in the bleachers, wherever you are. And people have a good time at the CWS, no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I think, it's hard to do. I get it, to clear a stadium out to then get ready for the next game, is when, like the Tennessee LSU game we were talking about a couple of years ago. I remember standing in line because the game before him went into extras, and they're like, we got to clear out the stadium, we got to clean it and all this. And we walked in like maybe 2 or 3 minutes before the first pitch. I'm like, that's what's going to drive your first time goer up a wall, because they're like, well, this isn't even a fun experience. Like, I might miss some of the cool things that happen pre-game. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just one of those things where I wish there was a way to do that better, but I get it. Like, there's a lot of people there.
Yeah.
It gets hard. It's hard to clear everybody out in a timely fashion and then to clean it and then get everybody in their seats for the game 2. And it's even worse when you know you're going to game 2 and you have to exit and come right back.
Yep. And last thing we'll talk about, amenities like bars, restaurants, kids play areas. Well, there's not really much of that in the ballpark, but there is definitely outside the ballpark. So
yeah,
I don't think they're really, they don't really need to have any bars, restaurants, or kids players inside, when they've got all that outside.
Yeah, no, and I think it's, once you get into the stadium, like, go enjoy the college baseball game that you're about to watch. Do everything that you want to do with, like you said, the kids, the bars and all that. Do that outside the stadium and then come in and watch, because guess what? Stadium's got alcohol. Stadium's got food. Yeah, they don't have the kids play area, but the kid probably wants to watch the college game, because it's like when you're growing up and watching that, like, you see yourself hopefully on that field someday. Yeah,
I guess what they want to do is to, like, once you walk in, they want you focused on the game.
Correct. And that's how it should be. Like, you bought the ticket, don't you want to watch the game?
Yeah, I mean, we all came to have a good time, and everyone does have a good time. Yeah, you got all your beer, you got all your food right here, and then so if there's any kids that you might have that need to burn off excess energy, well, you should have done that before you walked in. Because they got all those games out there, like in the parking lots, and there's even a freaking Ferris wheel.
Yeah, that was a new one. I was like, why do we have a Ferris wheel?
Yeah, but that's still a very fun feature. But yeah, they if it's an afternoon game, I guess they can, and the game ends at like 4-ish, yeah, they can stick around and burn off all that energy and play some of the games they got there. And but if you're going to the night game, try to get there like at about like 4-ish or maybe before that, like 3-ish.
Yeah.
And
well, and I would say too, though, I mean, if you've been to it, still go early because Omaha is doing new things every year with it. And if you've never been, get there as early as you can. Like experience what we get to experience every year living in Omaha and getting to go down there. Because I mean, it's one of the best times of the year in Omaha. Like it's like the city doesn't shut down, but everybody knows, like, I know where I'm going to go at some point in those 2 weeks or 10 days, whatever it is.
Yes, sir. Well, that's going to do it for episode 2 of the Tom's Takes podcast. Reese, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, Tom.
Yes, I had a very, very good time talking with you. All things college baseball, from the College World Series to the Big Ten tournament to the Blatt to the Chuck. Did you enjoy this?
Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. It's always fun discussing that because, the final thing I'll say is when they moved it over to the Chuck, I was like, you can't do that. But then I guess, what, if you can tear down Yankee Stadium, you can tear down any stadium in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, no, thank you for having me on. I enjoyed it. If you guys haven't listened to any of Tom's podcasts, obviously this is only episode 2, or any of his vlogs, definitely give him a listen because they're good. And he's a very big sports fanatic. I don't know if I know anybody more that loves sports as much as this guy does. So yeah, definitely check him out.
Thank you so much, Reese. All right, that's going to do it. We'll see you in the next video.